Welcome back, everyone. We are getting 97% of the vote now in on the Republican side. 99% is the latest number. Look at this. It is almost done. We are almost able to call this race. And you can see how the leaderboard looks right now with Ted Cruz in the first position, Donald Trump at the second position, and Marco Rubio with a surprisingly strong showing in the third position there. Look at the number of votes separating Marco Rubio and Donald Trump there, Brett.
This was the surge that we heard about that was anecdotal for days. The Rubio campaign saying they thought they were going to have a good night. If by chance we get to the end of this voting and he comes in second, somehow overtakes Donald Trump, that would be quite something. But the other huge story here is Ted Cruz at 43,000 votes, 28%, 99% in. This looks like it's heading towards a Ted Cruz win in Iowa, something that he predicted and his organization on the ground predicted, and now it's coming to fruition.
We want to get back to our Washington panel now. They know
the other big story on the Republican side is, if you base it on the Des Moines Register poll on Sunday, Donald Trump is by a fairly significant margin underperforming. Marco Rubio by a big margin, 7 or 8 points overperforming. How come?
He's running poorly, less well in the blue-collar counties. Trump is in the southeast part of the state where you'd expect him to run, and then in the Des Moines area, which has a lot of college-educated voters, he's running third. Now, he's offset this to some degree by taking some of these western Iowa counties that are evangelical, Woodbury and Plymouth on the west side, Potawatomi, Council Bluffs across from Omaha with a lot of Tea Party people. But he is running 4.2% less than his real clear politics average.
And what about Marco Rubio? I mean, he was at 15% in the Des Moines Register. He's 23% tonight.
Well, he's overperforming his real clear politics average by 6.1%. He is doing well in the southeast part of the state where Romney did well. He's doing Davenport and Johnson County, where Iowa City. But he's doing really well in the Des Moines area. But what's really interesting to me is he's running second in a lot of rural counties, particularly in the west where there are a lot of evangelicals. So he's demonstrating.
And you think there's a chance that he might beat Trump?
Well, I've got to tell you, if you look now, my suspicion is he's now within, statewide, he is within about 3,000 votes. I would bet he is going to be at least within 1,500 votes behind Trump by the end of the evening. And depending on what's out in the big counties, he could come in. Now, one other point, we're going to have over 180,000 turnout in this. This Des Moines Register may say 170, but I'm betting on 180.
You have been pushing that point all night with me. I'm getting worn out by that point, Carl.
On that same point, Kirsten, the surprise from Rubio making this as competitive as it was for second place, right on Donald Trump's heels, and looking forward to New Hampshire now, which is a more moderate state, I guess, in the voting as the demo goes. Just looking at the exit polling here, the entrance polling here, the moderate voters in Iowa, they went 35% for Trump, 9% for Cruz, 26% for Marco Rubio. So it was about, what, a 9-point difference between Trump and Rubio when it came to moderate voters.
Right, yeah. Well, and that's obviously going to benefit Rubio much more when we move on to the next state. And
Senator Marco Rubio with a wrap-up speech of a big night, overperforming the polls going in. There was only one poll over the past year where he got over 20%. It happened to be tonight, saying that 2016 is a referendum on our identity as a people, and if Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton wins, that it will be declining nation. The fact that he has to mention Bernie Sanders possibly winning this race and being the Democratic nominee suggests a different environment on that side. Senator Marco Rubio obviously attacked for his Gang of Eight support on immigration, which everyone thought was going to be a major problem here in the state of Iowa, and he overcame that to come in close third and almost knocking on the door of Donald Trump in second.
It certainly didn't help him. For those to whom immigration was the most important issue, he did poorly, but clearly that wasn't a huge section of the electorate. Otherwise, he would not have done this well. Just a little color for you from here at Trump campaign headquarters from our producer on the scene, who says when they were watching Marco Rubio speak and when he attacked Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, the Trump supporters cheered Marco Rubio's speech. We are now waiting to hear from Donald Trump, who has come in second in this election.